Hello, my name is Sherman,
And I'm Chris.
and welcome to Drag It Out, where we talk about different topics in just different categories. But today is actually, well, it's the new year. We made a podcast at the beginning of the year, but it is now almost February. It's literally like one more day left.
Oh, yeah, shit, you're right.
So the topic that we have on this podcast is I wanted to talk to Chris about the dynamics of a relationship, particularly a marriage. But I know some people are in civil unions or they have other titles where they're not allowed to be married or, stuff like that.
I mean, they're like married in spirit, but not on paper.
Yeah. And that's kind of how it is. So what prompted all of this was I was listening to a TikTok, and in particular, it was Michelle Obama. I will shout her out. That was her credit. She talked about it. But I'm pretty sure this is a topic that people have talked about since the dawn of time or the creation of marriage and monogamy. But I will say that she was pretty much, the conversation was a bunch of women were sitting around and they were talking about how Michelle Obama in particular was talking about how she believed a marriage is not 50-50. Like, people think it's 50-50, but I think people think of that from the perspective of like financial scenarios for some people. I know some men that's just like, I'm old school, I want to pay all the bills, she's just going to stay at home and raise my kids. Like that. She's a freaking breeding ground for like your offspring.
Yeah, I fully agree this whole like women being independent thing, because I don't think that's necessarily like where we're going as a society right now. Like, we don't have like a dad could be a stay-at-home dad, or even a dad could take like a job that doesn't require him to be out everywhere. Like, what if the dad was like working from home and the wife was going out making the bread,
Yeah, the dynamics have shifted. Like, it is not the 1850s or even like the 19 or the early 90s, because like some people still have that mindset. I feel like things have changed a lot within the last 20 years with the development of technology and how it's changed like information and the flow of information.
Well, it's also the newer generations growing up and actually doing stuff about it.
Well, and it's all because of access to technology.
Exactly.
So we'll get on the first topic, or like it's a broad spectrum in general because there's so many topics we can touch on within this. But like, what do you think about it? Think about it while we're talking about it, and it's something that you food for thought, and you can like let it marinate or whatever when you're thinking. So the first thing is just kind of like, do you believe a marriage is 50-50 and in any spectrum that you see it?
I don't necessarily think marriages are 50-50 like, I wouldn't say they're 50-50 across the board. I would say like with the whole 50-50 thing, and is as long as they're putting in 50% of their effort towards the other person in their own ways, it works out, Like, if the dynamic is where the father is the breadwinner, whether the mom wants to have a job or not, like, as long as she's put, like, he's going out and working all day, and if she was, like, I guess looking at life in the sense of her staying home and taking care of the kids and taking care of the house is a full-time job and putting as much effort as he is in his day, that way they're kind of like, they're still putting in 50% of their effort towards the relationship, but he's doing something like, I guess, business-wise, and she's doing something sustaining the relationship-wise. And whether it was vice versa, whether it was the woman who was out there fucking hustling and maybe doing things, either owning a business or whatever it was that she would do to put food on the table, she's putting in 50% of her effort, and he's putting in 50% of his effort, taking care of the kids and doing all that stuff. But also, you have to, I feel like you each have to put in at least 50-50 effort into the relationship itself as well. You can't only sustain life around you, but you also have to live and love each other, and just remember that you love each other.
Yeah, I will say, in the video or the topic when Michelle Obama was talking, she said that she would rather take out of 30 years of being with her husband, she'd take 10 bad years and 20 good ones any day. Because, I mean, if you do the math, the good outweighs the bad regardless. So, I mean, anybody will say they will take the good over the bad because this, I mean, unless you just have a dark side to you. But most people want to have the best experience possible in a marriage. So I will say, I believe a relationship is not 50-50 either. I will say, you can say effort, but that's like a different measurement as opposed to just being like 50-50 on all spectrums, because that's never going to be the case. Like if you try to say sum up everything, is your relationship completely 50-50 on all levels, like everywhere? No, that's not the case. If it's 50% of the effort, you can justify that because you can't tell someone how much effort they're putting in a relationship. They're just saying, I'm putting in 100, and you're putting in 100. And sometimes, they'll meet and you'll have 200% of a relationship working.
That's not possible.
So anyway, I think at the end of the day, I do believe a relationship is 50-50. I mean, it's not 50-50. So like, I feel like, for example, I can speak on my experience. Like prior to in my early 20s, most of my relationships were me putting in most of the work. Like, we weren't married, but it was just a relationship. So it's a different scale because people have different mindsets sometimes going into marriage as opposed to relationships. But either way, I still don't think a marriage is 50-50 because people have their ups and downs, right? Like, a woman should never walk into a relationship and say, my man is a rock. He's never going to cry. He's never going to get weak. He's going to stay strong. Now, that's how masculine men back in the early days presented themselves. Like, you don't show emotion. You stay strong for your family. You can't be weak. I feel like that's not the case. I feel like you should always feel like you can be vulnerable around your significant other. And you should be able to, like, if you lose a job, your significant other has to step in. That's them taking on more than 50%, right? Yeah. Then you get your job back and you start, and maybe you make 10, 20,000 more than her. Then you're taking on, again, more of that percent. So it's never truly 50-50, even emotionally. Most of the time, in my relationships, I'm going to speak from like the general standpoint of like the whole population. But from my experience, like I feel like I know I'm emotionally unstable, not like mentally, emotionally.
You're dramatic, that's for sure.
I know I am not. I am I'm very tamed. So what I'm saying is like I know I'm an emotional person, right? I can watch any love story, I can watch any sad anything, and my emotions just spill out on the floor. I can't help it. I get emotional because that's what those shows are meant for. They're meant to pull out emotions in you. And like I said, I just know I'm an emotional person. So anybody that I do date will have to deal with certain things that I like, certain probably negative traits that I would say, like me being like, I like reassurance in a relationship. I don't want my significant to walk around the house every day and all day being like, you fat bitch, and then smile, because then eventually I'm going to start feeling like maybe I am fat. Yeah. And then just masking it with like a ha 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 moment. Yeah. I mean, believe me, my mama would do that growing up. She would always be like, oh, you getting fat, and laugh.
Dude, I think all fucking like either Mexican aunts and uncles are definitely, actually no, they want you to get fat. They definitely do. They're like, oh, you're not. Never mind. Keep going. Sorry.
I can see. So I'm sorry. So anyway,
same fucking treatment from you.
No, I'm supportive. I'm supportive in every possible way. I don't know why this is picking up so much audio. I'm gonna slide it back a little bit. So, but yeah, no. At the end of the day, it was like I do believe a relationship is like more than 50-50. People, it fluctuates. Seriously, I think it's like the ocean. It goes up and down. One side is going to have more
high tide, and low tide.
Yeah. So, and that's for each individual person in a relationship. And like you said, it has to be nurtured. It has to be watered. Like I can tell you, as someone who was in a relationship for more than 7 years, man, when you start living with someone, that excitement of seeing them every day, or like that excitement of seeing them like you get to miss them, and then you get to have that experience of being like, oh my God, babe is here. We can cuddle, we can kiss, we can do whatever. But when they're around you 24/7 all day, especially with the pandemic and everything that was going on, like you're with them all the time, you start seeing like pet peeves that you didn't know about this person, or things that they would do you didn't know about this person. But that's not necessarily negative, right? That's just you learning who the person is. So, true. And you gotta, like, if you can't have the perfect person. So like that goes to like more than 50-50 because like sometimes somebody's not going to be everything that you need. So you're going to have to step up in certain areas of a relationship until you, hopefully, one, they step up and they change, or two, you know, you can't have the ugly and the pretty.
Exactly. A relationship is the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know.
And for some people, it's just ugly.
I wouldn't know who those people are. But,
wow. Whoa, that was offensive. I didn't even say you.
Well, you looked at me.
We're doing a podcast. Of course, I'm talking to you.
If the viewers could see how he looked at me,
like a very supportive friend.
No, there was no support.
There was support. There was support of like you're gonna get there one day.
Anyways, so will you, sir.
I know. I'm still working on my muscles. You know, I'm now taking these pills to help my cholesterol. So, and I'm watching what I eat. So. 2 months, I'll be, you know.
Says all those Starbursts you just fucking downed.
Wow, what a fucking snitch. First of all, I ate 3 or 4 Starbursts, my limit for the day. Nobody count.
There's like 10 wrappers.
Nobody count fucking paper. That has nothing to, anyway, back to relationships, because you're just distracting everything.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, I think a good relationship is just like, I don't think it's 50-50, and I don't think it has to be 50-50. I think as long as each party is doing their best to uplift the other one and try and help them be the best version of themselves that they can be. Like, what the fuck? Now you're the one distracted.
No, I'm not. Best versions of themselves that they can be.
Hold on a second. Yeah, so like each, like, you know, the boyfriend pushes the girl, or girl, boy, whatever. One partner pushes the other partner to be the best version of themselves that they can be, whether it's like going back to school or, you know, doing that, like taking that, like pushing for that raise at work or whatever the fuck it is. And same thing for one partner to the other partner is, or the opposite partner is to, you know, try and push them to be the best version of themselves. Because like I get, you know, like when you're with somebody like that, you're best friends, and so you're telling each other, you know, here are my dreams and my aspirations. And then it's, I guess, our job to be like, this is this person's dreams and aspirations. I'm going to do everything in my fucking power to push them to get to that point. And then same thing goes for the other person. So that way you're looking at, like, you're each fighting for each other's enlightenment, I guess you could say.
Yeah, like it's like you're a rocket. You're propelling your significant other forward.
Exactly, yeah.
And then you do the exact thing in reverse that you want for like your partner. I would want to date someone who was ambitious, because there's such thing as being overly ambitious.
Absolutely.
Like, to the point where all you see is those things.
And maybe you need somebody who's not exactly as ambitious to you to help you see that.
Interesting. I will say that for me, I try to be an ambitious person. I've achieved a lot in my life. So when I date someone or I am dating, I try to push the person to be whatever. I don't choose what they want. Like, 'cause that's wrong. You don't want to be like, I see this potential in you and I'm going to push you to be this. Because the person has to want to make the step, which is why when you sit down with your significant other, you have conversations and you say, hey, what are your New Year's resolutions? Not like that shit that's like, I want to lose weight. I'm talking like, what can we achieve together and help each other propel forward that's obtainable realistically? Not like I want to become a influencer and have 1 million views. No, start like, I mean, you could try that, but
so instead of saying New Year's resolutions, what are your goals for this year?
New Year's resolution.
It's not a fucking.
I stick by my word.
I don't like. I don't care.
I know you don't like it. That's why I'm sticking by my word.
Fuck you. That is so rude.
All right, I'm sorry. So I don't stick by my word. I'm sorry. I will let you have goals for that year. Still New Year's resolution.
All right, whatever you say.
So anyway, so I think you could have like I try to be supportive of my significant other when it comes to New Year's like goals. I try to be supportive, and I'll just be like, listen. And I tried, like, I've talked to you about my relationships where I've like been like, hey, like, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go? Right? Like, if someone proposes to me and I'm engaged, I'm just kind of like, I'll give it a year, not say anything, not talk about anything. Even in a relationship, I think I gave like the longest relationship I'd ever been in before I got engaged to. I was like, it was probably should have been shorter than that, but after like 6 years, I was like, look, what the fuck are we doing? Like, It's been 6 years. Like, why? What's going on here? Because I'm not going to be doing this shack and shit. Like, I live off of progress. I've always been a person that lives off of progress. Progress in myself, progress in those around me. Not that I forced them to do it. I'm more harder on myself. But, like, I don't want a partner that's going to be like, hey, my mate, I tell you, my very first boyfriend, when we talked about what we wanted out of life, you have that conversation when you laying in bed and cuddling and you think this is your bae. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what are your goals? He was just like, I just want to make enough money to get high and play video games. Immediately, I was like,
he thought about that. He was
ready for that. He was ready. He instantly answered it. So I was like, oh shit. Like, I don't know if I can play. Listen. Playing video games, like every now and then a video game will come out that I'm barely into, and I'm really into it. I'm like, oh, I'm taking off 2-3 days from work. I'm playing this. Fine. But like, if all you want to do is work a job just so you can have enough money to afford weed and get high and put a roof over your head, I mean, kudos to you. I'm not judging. But like, for me, I know that's not what I could have had long term, because I like to think of things like, okay, like I want to go on vacation once a year. Or twice a year. I usually do it twice a year. Or I want to plan like, okay, when are we going to get a dog? Or, your house looks like shit, so we need to upgrade your furniture because I'm tired of seeing the same shit type stuff. Like, I move my bedroom around constantly because I don't like things just to stay the same like all the time. So, but yeah, that was that. Like, I just have to have progression, and I expect my partner to want to progress as well. And then we can fucking just stop progressing when we fucking retire with like $1 million or $2 million. Then you can just be like, all right, I'm tired of having yearly goals. I'm good. I mean,
yeah, I feel for me at least, if I were to retire, I feel like retirement is like where people's moods change. They're like, all right, cool. Now we have enough money to where. Well, I mean, not everybody can do this, but people who can are basically like, like now we have enough money to, live our lives comfortably and travel when we want to.
Yeah.
See the world.
That makes sense. I mean, my mom and dad are both retired, and we send them on vacations every now and then. Like, I think I'm going to take them to the mountains this year. But then we were also talking individually a while ago about how, like, you said you wanted to travel more, and I was like, well, I'm planning on traveling this year. Like, I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to, and he was like, oh, you can get an Airbnb or I have family. And I'm just like, what? No, I want to experience towns. Like, I guess you could say I want to be able to walk in and out of my hotel room when I want, as opposed to being like some Airbnbs being kind of uncomfortable, because like some of them are in people's houses, like just the extra room.
No, don't do anything like that. Like, no, when I say an Airbnb, I'm talking get your own own spot. Like, there are some Airbnbs where people or companies will either buy or rent out, like, say, like a loft apartment in a busy downtown. Say you wanted to go to fucking Atlanta, or say you wanted to go to wherever the fuck you want to go. And they have like a cool little downtown area that has loft apartments above this busy nightlife kind of downtown area. They'll have places like that where you and a couple friends can go rent out that spot, and that flat is yours for however long you rent it out for. And they keep it stocked with, like paper towels and cooking utensils and stuff like that. But then, everything's clean when you get in there, and then you go there. It's basically like renting an apartment. I mean, renting a hotel, but like in a living space.
Okay, so back on the topic, which I agree, because I was the one that went off topic. Because okay, so if those things exist, then fine, I will do those things. But do you feel like you've ever been in a relationship where you've either taken advantage of the person, or not like in like a super negative way, but kind of like you knew you were taking advantage of them for your own interest, and it's not always negative on the person or like they're giving up something to the point where like it's bad for them. Sometimes you can take advantage of someone like in ways in which it's not detrimental to their like mental or physical self. So like, do you feel like you've taken advantage of someone, or like you've not given 100% purposely knowing that you could in a relationship?
So, before I answer this question, let me tell you that I haven't been in many relationships, and I'd say the longest relationship I've ever consistently been in was like a year and 2 months. So, I'm not going to sit here and say that I have all of the experience to, I guess, answer a lot of these things.
Okay.
Everything that I say is purely based off of how I feel right now, but I've also never actually been in like a super long-term relationship.
Okay, so disclaimer or warning.
Yeah.
From this point forward, anything that Chris says, take it with an extremely small grain of salt. His experience and knowledge on this topic is
So
not
rude.
necessarily of value to you as you listen to this. So continue. You were saying.
Damn, thank you for your description on what I meant by what I just said. Thank you for that. Okay. But anyway, what was the question?
Wow. It was your question that you asked yourself, or no, I asked you like, oh, were you, have you ever taken advantage of someone?
Now I remember. So I don't think I'm a bad person, but I think I have, in some instances, taken, like, I guess, not knowing at the time, like, in the moment, you don't really know, but, like, now that, like, you're out of it and you see things on the outside, I think about it, and I personally feel like this might have been taking advantage of this person, but, you know, I was in a relationship with this one girl a while back, and she was a cool chick. She was actually really fucking cool. We got along really well. And I noticed pretty soon into the relationship, I mean, I would say within 6 months of dating, or no, I'd say within 2 to 3 months of dating, I realized that I wasn't necessarily attracted to her physically anymore. And I didn't really want to hook up with her, but I realized, but I loved who she was as a person. And so I kind of like made up excuses, you know, not to have sex with her. I mean, it started out as like, I mean, I obviously was intimate with her from at first, because that's part of dating somebody. And then like as things went on, I just lost attraction for her, but I liked her as a person, so I continued the relationship to continue to be able to hang out with her.
Wow. Okay. So let me just clarify what Chris just said. What Chris just said was, I dated a girl who was very great, all around perfect personality.
Why are you like woman-splaining everything that I just said?
Well, let me finish, okay? And then we can go from that point, okay? I fucked her, and then I realized I like her personality, but I just don't want to have sex with her. She's not my type anymore. Like, I just wanted to hit it, and now I hit it. It's just kind of like, eh.
It was a lot more complicated situation.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
It seemed like it was pretty simple.
I did not fully like, if I was going to sit here and fully disclose everything about what happened leading up to that relationship.
Mm-hmm. So it had been a while, but okay, did you lose sexual interest in her immediately, or was it like months into the relationship?
Months into the relationship.
Okay, now that makes sense. You didn't give us a time frame, so I just assumed it was like one time. Boom, done. I'm not interested, but I'm going to keep dragging you along on the little chain.
That's why I said a couple months into the relationship.
She was milking it for all it was worth. Okay. Okay, so all right, so okay, so you did take advantage, but like it was because you were actually interested, though. Like, but just not sexually.
I was thinking at first. I was thinking, like maybe something's up with me. Like maybe I'm being an idiot because when we first started hooking up, like sex was great. So like, why would I all of a sudden be happening? And then
Moment. Sorry, we had an emergency. Chris' brain blew up because he couldn't process what was going. I'm like standing here looking at him. I'm like looking at him, and he's just like frozen in time. And I'm like, say something, anything. And he looks at me like, say something, anything. So I think he just had a moment where his brain paused. But no, like, I mean, I guess I can understand. Like, relationships, if you get in a relationship for just like this, like adrenaline rush, right? Because I've seen people do it. This is like that's why they're serial daters, because they love the thrill of the chase. They love the thrill of like promising people the world and like getting people hyped up and to fall in love with them, or maybe just for the sexual point or peak in which they're trying to capture their prey. But like that's interesting because I just don't know. I just feel like I never dated for the sake of like, I want to get something from someone, and once I get it, I'm done.
So I've never dated with that aspect in mind either. So, alright, so just to give a backstory, because I feel like everybody's confused at this point. I felt like I was forced into this relationship. And so like basically me and this girl were hooking up for about 6 months, for about 6 months, and we became fucking really close. We were really good friends. We got along really well, and again, the sex was great. We had a mutual friend who was for the first little while, like he was the one who actually basically got us together. And then once I started hooking up with her, it kind of seemed like he was jealous that I was the one hooking up with her. And then time went on, things were good, but we had both disclosed that neither of us were looking for a relationship, and we just wanted to have some fun, and everything would be good. We just hang out as friends who would fuck, basically. We were friends with benefits. And then so later on in the relationship, or in the situationship, we went out one time, and then homeboy basically pit us against each other in like a stupid way. And by the end of the night, we went out hanging out, having a good time, ready to have a good time, and then we left not really knowing where we stood with each other, and thinking the other one was pissed off at the other one. And so I got into my car and I was like, hey, he said these things. How do you feel? Like, he said that you were mad at me all night. And she was like, I'm not fucking mad at you. I'm pissed off that he kept on telling me that I should be mad at you for some reason. And then it got to a point where I was like, okay, well, he also said that you're mad at me because I haven't asked you to be my boyfriend yet. And I thought we were under the understanding that, like, neither of us wanted a relationship. And that's basically kind of how I've been seeing this whole thing this whole time. And she's like, look, I'm not upset about it, but I did mention that, like, you know, I've started to like you. I mentioned to him in the past that I have started to like you. And it's just like, I have been annoyed that you haven't asked me out yet, but it was not an issue. And so I told her, I was like, okay, well, if it's not an issue, I don't want things to change what they are right now. And because, like, I was still in the headspace that, like, I didn't feel like I was ready for a relationship, but I was still enjoying her company. I saw her as a friend, and I was enjoying the time we spent with each other. So, and I don't fucking know. Maybe it was in my head or what. But anyways, so then after, like, she was like, okay, cool, no problem. Directly after that, she stopped hanging out with me. And the thing is, we worked together. Like, I was a tattoo artist, and she was the piercer at my shop. So I saw her all the time. So I'd be like, hey, did you want to go out and get a drink after work? And she'd be like, no, I'm sorry. I'm just going to stay home tonight. I'm like, cool, no problem. And, next night comes around. I was like, hey, I was wondering if you wanted to hang out, whatever. She's like, I've actually got plans with some people tonight. I'm going to go out with my friends. And I'm like, okay. At that point, I'm just like, so wait, are we cool? Are things good? Or do you just not, like, all of a sudden not want to hang out with me anymore? And then a week goes by. She barely talks to me. Like, the dynamic of what we had completely changed overnight. And it, I guess freaked me out because now I feel like I'm, like, losing a best friend in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mind's racing, and I was like, so one night, like a week later, I hit her up. I'm like, hey, let's fucking go. Like, I didn't ask her. I was like, let's go out and get a drink tonight. Let's go over here. We'll just play some pool and have a beer or something. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Is it cool if this guy comes? And he was the guy. That was the guy who had fucking started all the bullshit that the last night that we actually hung out with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I don't care if he comes. Like, he was one of my friends too, so I didn't think of anything. And so we get there, we all hang out, everything seems normal, and then afterwards, like, we were gonna go back to her, all three of us were gonna go back to her place, where we were gonna watch a movie and smoke some weed and dip or something. And then I meet her at her place. Homeboy had to fucking go home and pick up something and then come back. He left, and so I get to her place, and I was like, hey, before he gets here, like, I just want to say, like, I've missed you, and it sucks not hanging out with you. And so if it means that I have to drop my guard and get into a relationship with you to continue hanging out with you and continue the dynamic of what's going on, then, let's see where it goes. And she's like, okay, well, I have to be honest with you. I've been hooking up with Homeboy for about the last week now. And I'm like, oh. So obviously he just kind of, like, played us against each other to get what he wanted. And she's like, yeah, I see that now. So basically, her and I ended up getting into a relationship. Things were good for, like I said, like 2 to 3 months. And then things started, like, declining. But we were technically, I would say, together for 6 months before that, because we were basically dating, but not with the title of it.
Okay, so that's interesting. Let me ask you something. At what point, so all of this prior to y'all actually physically dating and agreeing to be in a relationship, y'all were just fuck buddies until that friend came along, got in your relationship, put y'all against each other, and then he started fucking her. That was what? So y'all were fuck buddies for 6 months, and then y'all, like, was that like 9-8 months total, and then y'all started dating officially?
No, it was about 6 months before we started dating.
So, and then you officially started dating around that 6 month part, and then your relationship lasted a year and some change after that, or no?
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is a perfect example, listeners, of what I like to call Chris BM.
Oh my god.
CBM meaning Chris be messy, because Chris, that whole scenario was messy before you even got into the title. Yeah. Of the relationship, which is not like, it's not anything against your character. You were, you missed her, you wanted to be with her, and you felt like you said, like, hey, if I have to be in a relationship,
I didn't know they were hooking up, like.
Well, she told you.
Well, before she told me, I didn't know they were hooking up.
Okay, so this friend was low key having sex with this girl that he knew you were intimate with. Like, what happened to bro code?
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm fucking saying.
That's straight people code.
Okay, well,
don't exist in the gay world.
Okay, but how many gay guys call their guy friends bro all the time?
The DL ones that try to act.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, it doesn't fucking matter.
So you're saying your friend is DL?
No, I'm saying the bro code is obviously a straight thing because
yeah. No, I mean there's the closeted gays that use bro, but I mean I don't know. I'm not speaking from experience. I'm just making a guess. Okay. So anyway. Well, I'm sorry that happened. And you probably, I mean, clearly you don't care anymore. Did you say fuck her?
No, I said fuck it.
Oh. I'm going to say, oh my God, that's pretty mean.
Nah, she's the homie. Like, we're actually friends now that we're not in a relationship. It took, after we broke up, it did take her some time to, don't fucking slap the arrow in front of my face.
First of all, he blew smoke in my face.
It was vape. It was vape.
It doesn't matter. It's not natural God-given, like, air around you sucking it in.
Neither is the air around us. There's so much shit in the air around us.
Okay, well then don't put more in it.
It's gonna
fair
happen.
point. No, fair point. Just say exactly what you was about to say. You was about to say fair point.
No, it was not.
Yes, he was.
Not.
He was going to say fair point. Anyway, but yeah, that's the only reason why I waved my hand. So don't try to call me out like I did something wrong. I was protecting my lungs from any possible death.
Weren't. You don't care about that.
Yes, I do. I care a lot about all things that are bad for the environment and the human body. Anyway, we're getting off topic. So let's not do that. Let's not do that. That has nothing to do with right now. Anyway, well, I mean, I don't know. That relationship sounded like it was, like you said, a bad choice to go down that road, right?
Like, I'm not mad that we dated.
Oh wait, you said you're still friends after, even now.
Yeah. So so for about a month, I would say, after we broke up, we still worked with each other, and we continued to work with each other for the next couple years. And so obviously she was pissed at me after we broke up. That was a whole thing. But and I'm not going to get into that. But basically, obviously she was mad at me for a little bit after that. She went out, did her thing. But yeah, we got back to being friends after a little while, but yeah.
Okay, well I don't know. I've never been friends with any of my exes. Like, once I've been intimate with someone and I've opened myself up and allowed myself, if they do me wrong, like if we end on a neutral ground and understanding that we're just not compatible, which has not happened in my life yet, then maybe it's possible. But I think I would have to purposely remove myself from any way of contacting that person in hopes that sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I'm a hopeless romantic, so he might reach back out to me. And then on top of that, if you continue talking to somebody right after you break up with them, there's this weird limbo that you're in that you need to give yourself time to distance the emotions, separate the emotions.
I mean, I did notice, there was, because we worked together, so we had to see each other all the time.
Another CBM moment. Sleeping with a coworker. Continue.
We didn't work together when we first started hooking up.
So she got the job at the shop afterwards.
Yes.
So she proceeded to get a job at the place that you work.
I helped her get that job.
Okay, so still CBM, crispy messy, because you got the girl a job at the place where you were working. Come on.
Listen, that turned into being probably one of the best decisions in her career that she could have ever made at that point.
Oh my God. Okay, again.
Because now she owns her own piercing shop and is fucking killing the game.
That's nice. So let me ask you a question. If you had a friend who came up to you and slapped you, and would you forgive that friend? Or would
Depends on what the context of the slap is.
No excuse, just walks up to you and slaps you in the face.
Okay.
Can you still be friends with that person or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm getting at, you can still be friends with that person. Now, if they slap you again,
is it obviously out of malcontent, or is it
they're tripping and falling and slapping you or something?
Or they just come up and be like, "Hey, buddy," and slap you in the face? Nothing like. Okay. Maybe it's maybe they come off as a joke or something like that. Maybe that's instead of a high five, he just slaps you in the face.
I guess. Either way with me, it's a no-go. So I think I'm taking my personal views into it. But if you want to look at it like that, he's just slapping you and be like, "Hey, bro, I mean, I guess that's fine.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
I'm saying stripes are stripes.
If it's every single time he sees me, he fucking slaps me in the face. Like, no, I'm not gonna fucking be friends with that. Like, what the fuck? Eventually, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Why do you keep slapping me?
So this is a really bad comparison. But all I'm saying is, like, this is a really
bad metaphor.
It really is. All I'm saying is like, why? It just seemed like a bad idea just to get her a job. I don't care if it was good for her career. Like, you're still turned out fine, right? Y'all still are friends to this day. But, like, for me, I could never work at the same place that I'm, like, having sex with someone. Because I'm emotional. So sometimes I can't let emotion, like, slip. And I know most women in tattoo shops or that in the industry that you're in, I'm not speaking for women.
Tread lightly.
I'm treading very hard.
Because I was going to say, you don't necessarily know very much about the tattoo industry,
First of all, what I do know that women do in general, more so than men, statistically speaking, I will put a reference in the link below, is that women sometimes realize that being flirtatious gets them the clientele, and not like sexual. I'm not saying do anything sexual, but flirtation.
I do that shit.
So you flirt with men?
I flirt with. I mean, listen, I'll flirt with whoever I need to flirt with to get a bigger tip.
Of course, we know, Chris. We get it. Okay, we're not talking about you because you're like this anomaly. Okay, you're like the one from the fucking Matrix. Everything applies and don't apply to you. I'm just saying that. And like, if like, had you ever seen her flirt with the client just to get them to and it didn't bother you?
No.
Okay, so
I'd say I'm good at compartmentalizing my emotions in certain situations. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been able to work with girls that I've hooked up with or dated. It's like that place wasn't the first place that I dated somebody that I worked with, but anybody that I have dated that I've worked with was also very good at compartmentalizing their emotions in the sense that they didn't allow their emotions to affect their work.
CBM. So, let me ask you something. Okay. So, why do you pursue... Like, is there nothing, like, because I'm genuinely curious, like, is there nothing in your brain that, like, says that's off limits? Like, because you say you can put your emotions or cut emotions off in certain scenarios. Do you think that's because you're emotionally unavailable?
Maybe. I've never thought about it like that.
I mean, because you could just be a fuckboy in disguise. Who hurt you?
Nobody. I had a really fucking good life.
Who hurt you?
What are you talking about?
Like, who hurt you?
Nobody hurt me.
No, really? Nobody.
Actually, no. There was this one chick that I dated.
This must have been early years.
Yeah, I would say I was like... I think I was like 23... Oh, no, like 22 to 23.
Was this before all of the piercings?
Yeah.
Okay. Before all of the
nothing
tattoos?
to do. Listen, I've always wanted to look like this.
No, I'm not complaining about what you look like. I'm getting a picture of where you were.
I was still, yeah. Okay, I think I had like 2 or 3 tattoos by that point.
But none in a physical, like, visible location.
No.
Okay. So what did she just broke up with you? Like, you were madly in love with her?
No, so like we both, okay, so like her and I both really liked each other, and like whenever we would talk, I think we dated for like 4 or 5 months, and whenever we would hang out with each other, things just clicked. We did a lot of it was a good relationship, and our minds connected in like higher ways, I guess you could say. Like, we were on the same path in life. Like, we wanted the same things. So like, I don't know, it just seemed like the relationship was going far. And but then she didn't. We lived in Southern California at the time, and I guess her dream was to be able to go work with her aunt who lived in Northern California, which, I mean, it's still not that much further away. I mean, yeah, it's a plane trip, but it's like a 45-minute plane trip as opposed to like a 8 to 10 hour drive. But, you know, like, she wanted to be able to go there and not have any reasons or anything to hold her back from accomplishing the things that she wanted to accomplish. And I was like, okay, like, I mean, and she had brought up to me at one point, she's like, hey, like, if I move, I don't want anything that's gonna change my mind from moving. Like, I don't want anything that's gonna make me want to stay here. And so, like, she broke up with me with no warning whatsoever. Things were going really fucking good. And then, like, there was a day of, like, is something weird going on with her? And then the next day it was like, it's done. And then, no, like, the only explanation was, this is the reason why we're not dating anymore. Goodbye.
Wow. So, and that was it.
And that was the last time I was able to talk to her. Her parents didn't message me back on Facebook, and they seemed to really like me. And, yeah, she was just gone. And I knew where she lived, but I'm like, I'm not that fucking weird-ass dude who's gonna, like, show up at her house and be like, nah, fuck that.
I'm that guy.
I'm sure you are. But I can't, like, I've never been the person who's like, I'm gonna be that dude in those fucking movies that you see shows up at his ex-girlfriend's place and is like, come back to me.
No, I wouldn't say come back to me.
But like, but the thing is like, I told her, I was like, because we would have conversations and she'd be like, hypothetically speaking, you know, like, if my aunt were to hit me up and say that she had an opening, because her aunt made, she was very artistic and I was very artistic, and her aunt had her own, like, ceramics kind of thing, like photography and, like, just an art sanctuary, I guess. That was also, like, her business. Mm-hmm. And she was like, if my aunt ever has an opening, I want to be able to go there. And I was like, she was like, hypothetically speaking, if she were to hit me up next week and say, hey, I have an opening, like, and I would want to move, what would your thoughts on me moving out there be? And I told her, I was like, well, you know, like, I was like, at this point, I still didn't know what I was going to do with like, I didn't even know I was going to do tattooing. I was still in college, just fucking floating around different art classes, trying to figure my little niche. But, I was working and I was making decent money. And she was like, well, what would happen if I did this? And I'm like, well, we could always work at it, and, you know, like, I could come out and visit you, and, you know, like, I'm not gonna tell you to stay here. I'm not gonna force you to stay, because you've been telling me this whole time that this is what you want to do. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage you to go, but we could, you know, like, I like you a lot and you like me a lot, and I kind of want to see where this goes. So, you know, like, if you move and it does, and, like, the long distance thing just stops working out, then we can go from there. Mm-hmm. But, like, I'm willing to at least kind of see if it will work out. And she's like, okay, like, good to know. And then come to find out, she just does that. And I got, like, she never told me whether her aunt had actually hit her up about a position or not. She just told me that she didn't want the possibility of that happening and was like, we're done. Bye. And I'm not going to lie, after that, I have been the one that's broken up with everybody that I've been with since then.
Okay, so you were traumatized, and you were like, I don't want to get hurt again, so I'll be the one to leave. Or you don't allow yourself to be fully emotionally invested.
I don't think that's the case. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe I should fucking see a therapist and fucking actually kind of try and dive into that a little bit more. That's a thought.
I mean, listen, I was just asking because it was interesting. I think people do what they want when they want, and I think you just, clearly there was something more there when you were giving the story about the other girl, and I was like, something. There's something there. There's something that sparked that. Something that made him act that way. Because I've seen people set themselves up for relationships to fail, but only because they wanted they wanted that physical human interaction, whether it was sexually or just emotionally. They needed emotional connection, and then they bail before they can emotionally get attached to someone, because it's just like, oh, I got what I needed out of this. The sexual aspect, I got an emotional person that I got close with and I could cuddle with, and they made me feel safe, or I made them feel safe and I felt needed. But I bounced before said relationship actually got too deep.
I mean, so the reason that me and that other girl ended up breaking up, the original one that I was talking about, once we had been dating for a while, I started noticing that the relationship was very one-sided. She didn't know how to compromise. She was more like, if there was something about me that she wasn't happy with or that she didn't like or something, she had no problem asking me to compromise make a compromise for her. Mm-hmm. But anytime I asked her to make a compromise for me, it was, I have an issue that I need to fucking get over.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there was never anything wrong. She wouldn't admit to it. Whenever I had a conversation with her, I would never yell at her. It was never anything angry or anything like this. I would just be like, hey, listen, when you do this, it makes me feel like this. And
see, that's a good point. And there's some perspective of being in relationships and people being like, hey, that's the right way to communicate, right? And I'm just saying from my experience is when you're in a relationship, you never want to say things like what you did was hurtful, because that person might not think what they said was hurtful. And then they just discredit whatever you say, because in their minds, I didn't mean anything by it. But if you say what you did or what you said made me feel, they can deny your feelings, then it means they don't care about you. Yeah. But if they truly care about you and you say that, then they should at least rewire their brain to try to be sympathetic and understand, I said something to hurt this person. If I care about this person, that's not something I want to do.
Yeah. For me, when I'm in a relationship, I don't want to hurt the other person. And especially early on in relationships, you're still learning things about each other. And so I always tell people, listen, if there's anything I say or do that annoys you in some sense, or in a way that you don't think that you can kind of get over, then just let me know, and I'll do my best to stop. It might take a couple tries, but I will actively try to stop, because I'm not here to hurt you or annoy the fuck out of you or just make you feel that you don't want to hang out with me, kind of thing,
Well, and another thing is, if you're in a relationship with someone and you know that you find something that you and your significant other can't do together, if y'all can't fucking play spades together, or you can't play Uno or Connect Four games that are very high tense and high tension, and you're gonna be cursing at each other, what's the best thing to do? Not do that together. Do something else.
Yeah.
You actively avoid things. Now, I'm not saying avoid things, because certain things can't be fixed. Sometimes you can't compromise on certain topics or certain arguments. You just have to respect your significant other views and agree to disagree.
Absolutely.
Because that's going to happen. Or you just agree that we're not going to fucking play Uno together, because if you threw one more draw 4 down on me, bitch.
Or a reverse.
I'm going to fuck you up.
Facts.
On sight. This is not a joke. Some things are just you cannot. And that's one thing I realized. I'm toxic when I play video games. If I play Call of Duty, if I play Fortnite, if I play any competitive online game, I am toxic. I'm the person talking the shit. But the difference is I can cut the game off and everything is left in the game for me. It's just I know I go here to talk shit, be angry, be mad. And that's why I will never ask a boyfriend or any significant other to play video games with me because I know I'm that bitch yelling. Unless it's a co-op game and we're on the same team. But if we're against each other,
I don't know. Even if we're on this, like, my thing is, even if I'm on the same team, if somebody on my team fucks up, they're gonna hear it.
Okay, yes, like from the perspective of Call of Duty. But if it's co-op, like you and your partner against a computer, not like an actual person physically on the other end.
So if I die and you die too, I'm still gonna talk shit.
No, see, I don't care about that. I'm just kind of like, it's a game. We'll replay the level until we beat it. But if it's like that game is Call of Duty and we're on the same team, and I'm like, bitch, there's a sniper over there, and then you stick your head up and you get shot, and then I gotta come res you, I gotta come revive you. That shit not gonna fly. Or if we playing Overwatch and you Mercy, and I'm like, hey, come heal me, and then you tap me, 10% health you increase, then I'm gonna be pissed. So anyway, my point is, because I'm very passionate about video games and me being toxic, is that like I know my weaknesses, and you should know your weaknesses, and you and your significant other should be able to be like, hey, this isn't working, we need to avoid doing this together. There are other things that we can do and that will strengthen our relationship.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with not being able to see eye to eye on a significant other. Like there should be some hard red flag points. Like for me, I don't really care about, I'm not gonna say that because that's gonna get me in trouble and some people are gonna have some issues. But like, I know I will say it. Fuck that. I don't care about political views, right? Like
awesome.
people can say what they want, but like I don't think all Republicans are racist, right?
Yeah.
So if a guy tells me he's a Republican or like he borderlines Republican, he leans more Republican, but there's some things he don't agree with, and we can have deep conversations about those topics, then that's fine. So I can get an understanding of you. I don't care about the Republican Party and what they stand for. I'm worried about the person that I'm going to be laying in bed with, and whether you're going to wake up one night and be like, fuck the patriarchy and try to fucking grab guns. Like, no, I need to know those things about you. I'm not going to particularly like not date someone. Now, I will not date someone if I like sexually preferences don't line up. Like, because that's important to me. Like,
absolutely.
If someone's just like, oh, I'll never bottom. And I'm just like, oh, well, we got a problem. Because like, I'm a unicorn and you're a horse. I want a unicorn, bitch. Like, I want something that's going to be as versatile and majestic as me, not someone that's going to be locked down to the ground and you can't fly. Like, bitch, no. Like, I need that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel that. I was going to say something really good.
I don't know what you were going to say.
Yeah. No, I don't care about politics either. Like this girl that I dated, that I lost attraction for. I mean, maybe there were problems in the beginning and I just didn't fucking see them. But like, she was one side, and I don't really like to say that I'm either one, because there are parts of each side that I agree with. But I do typically lean towards a certain side, I guess you could say. But basically, her and all of her friends were basically the same, like political thinking. But like, and like me and my friends are pretty much the same, but we also don't sit there and talk about politics. Her and her friends are the type who like sit there and talk about shit. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But like, I told her from the beginning of us even hanging out, like, these are my thoughts, and blah, like this is how I feel. And then she would just straight up say, okay, cool, never bring that up, basically never bring up your views in front of my friends, and we'll be good. So I'm like, wait a minute, so you guys are gonna allowed to sit there and talk about everything and anything that you want, and even if I disagree, I can't say anything about it. She's like, no. I'm like, why is that? She's like, because my friends won't like it. Like, I don't really care, honestly. Like, so why is it that I have to compromise my comfortability in every situation, but we can't have like a discussion? Like, you and your friends can't like be mature enough to have a discussion with somebody who thinks opposingly towards you. You just have to get mad about it. She's like, well, I just don't want to piss off my friends, and I don't want to get pissed off, so just don't say anything about it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, shelter yourself from other opinions, I guess.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I think you should have open dialogue with. If you have if I have a friend group, we should be able to talk about anything.
Yeah.
If I can't have a conversation with you about topics, not like they have to get super deep, but
Yeah.
like you can listen to someone's perspective. It's almost like people that like, I hate to bring this up, but it's almost people like who has a certain perception about gay people or people of the LGBTQ community plus, and they don't like actually have a conversation with someone.
Yeah.
Like you judge people, but you know no one from that community. And that's
Exactly.
in any race or any type of genre of like stereotype. Like,
Exactly.
if
Like,
you
how
don't
can
know
you,
somebody, how can you judge them?
Exactly.
Oh,
I mean,
just based
like
on
the
the
same.
news?
It's the same thing as racism too. It's like, I don't fucking know this person, or I don't know any people who have that. Like, I'm not good on any level with like anybody of this skin tone, but I'm gonna openly hate them or view them as lesser than myself, basically based on that fact. Like,
Yeah. Like sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah.
And understand like what it is that that person is. So that's why like I know I can date someone who has different beliefs or views than me, even religion wise. I see people that say you should date your same religion because you'll have differences. And if it's some big cultural differences, like, you know, for one, I'm not going to speak for any religions, but I will say the religion or the church that I grew up in, Christianity, women were taught to present themselves in a certain way, right? Like clothes can't be too short. A woman is supposed to sit at the back of the church and not at the front, unless it's the first lady and some of her people. Like it was very strict, and like I was just kind of like, oh, you know, some people might have issues with like being a virgin. I'm not gonna lie to you. If a guy came up to me, I mean, not like at my age now, 36, and was like, hey, I'm a 36-year-old virgin. I've never been with a man. I believe in saving myself for marriage. And he's like, I think you're attractive and I want to date you and I think you might be the one. I'm going to say, nah.
I think he's a psychopath, because if you're a 36-year-old virgin man who is saving yourself, it's not necessarily that you're saving yourself. It's more that like other people see something in you that's not worth going for.
Okay, first of all, I do not agree with that at all. That is unacceptable. This is Chris B. Messy again. Chris B. Messy saying some shit or doing some shit that is messy.
What?
You cannot say that because someone has not had sex at 36 years old that they or something's wrong with them, or people see that they might be crazy. Maybe they are actually just wanting to have sex when they know they're in love with someone. Is that not possible?
No, I totally get that, but like they're getting to an age to where it's like now you kind of got to think that like, is there something wrong with this person that nobody wants to date them?
Somebody might think that that's a possibility they might have to deal with, but like for me, it will be a no, because it's just like I need someone sexually experienced. At my age, at 36 years old, I don't want to train nobody.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to
facts.
be like, hey, let me show you how to BJ or whatever. Like, I mean, listen.
Yeah,
Most of the times, if I come to the bedroom and I lay down, and you about to put on some Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross, a little Anita, like if you're gonna do all of that shit, then it's about to go down. If you fucking put on some freaky ass slow music, and I'm thinking you got sexy and you got me worked up, and then we get to the bedroom and you like, I'm a virgin, I don't know what I'm about to do. I'm like, what was the fucking false advertisement for then?
Yeah.
You need to put on some ABC music in the background and bring out a pad and some paper, and we need to sit down and start the teacher lesson. Put on some sex tapes, let you know what sex education is about. I mean, hopefully they're not getting all their education only from like porn. Hopefully,
Yeah,
they're
that's true.
educating themselves the appropriate way. I'm sorry, but if you're gonna approach me and you want to be with me and you're a virgin at 36 years old, then please tell me that you've done some self-glorification and research and to know what it is and how to do it.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. Like,
But there are some
the
people.
older I get, it gets to the point. It's like that same aspect of like, what is it? Like when jihadists or whatever would do like the suicide bombing, and then like they're promised like 74 virgins in paradise or some shit like that. That would not be appealing to me whatsoever, because I now have to teach 74 women to please me sexually.
But they dead.
Yeah, but
Where they getting these women at? In the afterlife?
yeah, there obviously apparently there's a like almost like I would say a camp in heaven with all of these women who are awaiting these.
I don't know nothing about this religion. That's. I'm not commenting.
I don't know anything
I'm
about
not
religion
commenting.
either, but-
Listen, I'm gonna say this right here. I see nothing. I know nothing, so I say nothing.
Okay.
And what I will speak on though is I've seen I won't say who, but someone in my life where I was doing something with them and we were talking in a conversation and they said when I die, she was like, oh no, I need to do more and do more, pay my tithes more, do more in church and be more active. So when I get to heaven, I have my mansion. And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? Yeah. And I've heard people say that in the black community when I was younger, like, I want my mansion in heaven, but not like they had to work for or prove their salvation so they could get a certain level. So what his church is teaching him is that there's tiers in heaven, right? There's like, I guess, the poor, good people. And then like the higher you go up, like
the richer you are, the better your living situation in heaven.
The more anointed you are on earth means the more anointed you are. And of course, the church always likes to use the more money you pay, the closer you are to God and the more you're doing, right?
Because God gives a fuck about your money.
Listen, that's what they're doing.
If God loves the poor and the rich equally, why would he care about your money?
No comment. I don't know because I don't know that answer. I see nothing, I hear nothing, I say nothing.
Right, cool.
So I'm just saying that was interesting for me that he like was just like saying how much I do on this earth is going to determine whether I'm like, what is it called, the 1% in heaven, and everybody else is like the middle class, lower class.
I mean, listen,
scenario.
If I'm living in heaven, I don't really give a fuck what class I'm in.
I don't know. If I got to answer to the upper class, I don't know about that because I'm still going to want my freedom.
Who am I? Why would I have to answer to anybody if I'm in heaven? That's ultimate salvation, right?
Is it?
Isn't heaven supposed to be ultimate salvation?
Is it? I don't know. I ain't never been there.
I ain't either.
So I don't know. I mean, it depends on who you ask. If you ask a Christian, a Methodist, it depends on who you ask whether there's layers or whatever.
Hey, dude, according to Jehovah's Witness, heaven's already full.
It's already full?
It's already full.
So whereabouts going?
There's no room in it left in it. And our hope is to lead righteous lives so we can get a little bit higher on that, like get into heaven list.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. So you telling me Jehovah's Witness think heaven is already full, right? It's full to capacity.
Yeah.
Where is heaven at for the Jehovah's Witness? Do you know where it's located?
Where is heaven located for anybody?
Is it in the heavens, meaning the stars out in the universe? Because if heaven is full and Earth's maximum capacity is 7 billion, I'm pretty sure the creator of all things could create something infinitely.
You really think there's only ever been 7 billion people from the beginning of time?
No, I'm talking about that's what. Okay, it's an estimate.
So take all the souls that have lived on this earth.
Let's calculate this. Okay.
From the beginning of time till modern day.
Which is not that long because humans haven't been around that long. Continue.
Okay, so how long have humans been around for, roughly?
Roughly? Look, let me Google this because I'm not going to act like I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson and I know everything, okay? So let me see. Lord Jesus.
I mean, granted... No, I'm not going to say that.
Okay, so... Ooh. Oh.
The fuck?
What the fuck is going on? I don't know. I'm looking at these numbers and they don't make sense.
Also, are we talking
wait, they're trying to say like 190,000 years.
Okay, so I was like, I don't
know if that's true.
Years. 190,000 years.
About 200,000 years ago.
Okay, so about 200,000 years ago, people populated this planet. And I'm definitely not going to say that the numbers were 7 billion back then, but you never know. Like, let's just say for fucking shits and gigs that 600 million people populated the planet in the beginning, and like as time went on, like populations grew, some shit like that, whatever. But regardless, let's say roughly, like on average, for the first like 100,000 years, there was like 600 million people.
Okay, let's keep going.
And then like we'll just raise it from there.
Okay.
And then all of those people die. Obviously not all of their souls get into heaven, but a lot of them do. And then we get to this point, and it's like the number of souls that would be in heaven right now would be a number that we as humans can't necessarily comprehend.
Ain't no way possible. You want to know why this don't make any sense? Because if God is able to create the entire fucking universe, why would it be limited to being like, oh, I could create this vast infinite space? But you know what? Heaven can only hold so many people. Mainly because, you know how many Earths could fit in our sun? Our sun, the one that we orbit. 1.3 million Earths could fit in our sun. That's how big the sun is. And our sun is the smallest. It's like a baby star compared to millions and billions of stars out there. So
then
there's no way space is the problem.
So then where's heaven?
I don't know. It might be on Greenville Boulevard. Because that's small. I'm just saying, I can't imagine having a capacity.
But also, like, it makes you wonder, where is heaven if we can, like, vastly look out into other universes? And
well, people are stupid enough to believe that hell is in the middle of the earth. Well, like it's the core. But
then also, like, how can we sit here and say that heaven and hell are actual, like, tangible places? Maybe they're even just like different dimensions that are only our souls can get into.
Oh, we done left into a whole nother stratosphere.
Fuck yeah,
we're on another level. Listen,
talking about the universe. And
we'll just pause it here and just do another podcast because there's no reason for us to like make this into like a 2-hour podcast. Like, I do apologize for us getting off topic. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. My perception of reality has been altered.
High as fuck.
That's not what I said.
You told me that.
No, I did not. He's lying. I do not do those things. Anyway, drinking altered perception of reality. I stop.
So what? It's better in your opinion to be an alcoholic than a stoner?
Yes.
What?
We're not having this conversation.
How the fuck?
The topic is ending.
We're gonna talk about that in another episode.
Yes, in another. What's worse? Like, what's worse, weed or freaking alcohol? Okay, I mean, substance abuse on all levels is bad, and it's not just alcohol or man-made drugs or things created by the earth. It can be money. It can be multiple things that you can be addicted to that can become a negative habit. True. Okay, so anyway, thank you guys for listening to this podcast. I do apologize we got off topic, but hey, what are you gonna do? Drag it out. Bye.
Bye.